It may be spooky season, but you can still learn how to improve your magic game using Eastern philosophy. Part 23. Today we're talking about looking for advantageous routes. In the original text, it's going to talk about like moving through the landscape and trying to like set yourself up for victory. And we don't really have that in Magic, but what we have is threat assessment. And trust me, this is another one of those topics that like I could make a 3-hour long video and still not cover everything on. But who is the threat? This kind of comes in a couple of different forms. So some quick, easy ways to kind of figure out who could be the threat at the time. 1, before the game even starts, who's their commander and what game plan are they trying to get out? You know, if it's Yarlin Maltani, you know, the 18-6 commander that can possibly one-shot you with a very small pump spell. It might be that. But also it could be, you know, something super scary, like Infect or Combo or something else like that. That's one thing that you can kind of be like, hey, if I need to deploy resources, I should deploy them at them first. But let's say everyone's kind of equally scary and everyone's got a board. Who's the scariest? My personal opinion would be who has the most resources and access to the most resources. So who's drawing the most cards, who has most access to their library, who's tutored recently. These things can kind of flag that somebody is the problem. And call it out. You know, moving through advantageous routes can also just mean pointing your enemy at your enemy. Like, oh hey, someone's drawing a lot of cards this game. Or hey, my grip is looking a little low, but they seem to be on full grip here, and they keep drawing cards. You know, peg the table for information. Hey, what do we think is the threat here? If I gotta remove something, what should I do? Like, you can fish for information. Everyone's everyone else's enemy, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Another possible, like, thing that's gonna say who's the threat is how many, like, permanents they have on board. So how many, like, enchantments do they have floating around, how much equipment, how many creatures. This could be a bit of a, like, it can be a bit of a catch-22, though, because sometimes somebody could have a lot of stuff, but not be close to winning. For instance, if none of it's got evasion, maybe they're not the threat. And also, I feel like Commander ends up turning into, like, arch enemy sometimes, where it's just like, oh, we gotta find the bad guy and then kill the bad guy and then work on each other with, you know, whoever's left over. And I would err against that. For instance, the big bad might not be coming at you. And in that case, you can be like, hey, I could remove your commander who's like an 18-16. Or I could remove the blocker that's stopping you from hitting someone. So, and maneuvering like that can kind of help you mitigate what is a threat to you and who is a threat to the table.